Welcome to Confessions of a Dope Teacher. I'm your host, Melly, and I just want to welcome y'all to the show. Man, it's been an interesting few months dealing with this COVID. It has us living like a whole new norm, but I'll honestly say it brought a lot of opportunity for us to get things in order as we've been homebound. I've remodeled practically my whole house. I've been able to craft, and I even revamped this here podcast. And I watched so many people around me just rise during this time. So before I get into the segment, I got to shout my IG. So find me daily, y'all, on Instagram at confessions _of_a_dope teacher. So confessions of a dope teacher with an underscore separating each word. Find me there daily. I'll drop gems. I give wisdom and just motivation. As always, thanks for joining me, and it's time to slide into the first segment. Hey y'all, we tapped into Let's Talk About It. So let's talk about it. There's a reason I created this segment. The reason I created this segment is there's issues that are at times in the dark. People like to tiptoe over them, or they just hold a huge relevance, and it needs as much talking about it as possible. So I want to talk about the return to school, as this is a huge thing that's going on right now. We're going like back and forth like a ping pong ball, which as a teacher, I feel like that. I'm back and forth, as in I don't know how this game is going to go. So it has been challenging for us, but like I said, we have to talk about this. Parents, I get it. Many of you have to get back to work, and you can't afford to have another extension of your kids at home. But as a teacher, like, it honestly scares me to return to school. And I know some people are alarmed by me saying that, but I'm scared of what's going to happen with us rushing back into schools without putting everyone's safety in consideration first. So I literally find myself thinking of how much PTO I can spare to keep myself safe at the end of the day. Like, I'm in a place where I worry about my students, and I hope they're well. I'm that teacher that I genuinely love what I do, and I love my students, and I have that relationship. So I honestly care about their well-being, just like this returning to school thing. It's not the time for them to return. So I think about the idea that I see over 100 students a day coming through my classroom, and deep down I know there's no way possible for me to keep those over 100 students safe during this time of COVID, and these numbers are steady spiking. So another thing that it caused me to look at was, I remember being a teacher marching in Red for Ed, fighting for fair justice for students and teachers in the education system, and many of those things were denied. And it's like deja vu that those things that were denied are now the things that are on the table to be fixed. When we marched and we were denied, the biggest one for me is we marched for smaller class sizes, to put a gap on the class sizes, and we were denied that. But now they're talking about social distancing and having smaller classes, and it just makes me as a teacher wonder, why is this wanting to be done now that we're in a state of emergency? However, when we needed it done for quality education, they didn't care. So let's just be honest, like, everything sounds wrong about teachers and students being in a classroom. As a teacher, one thing I know daily that happens is I have students, they're sick, they don't feel well, and this is a daily thing. And the first thing I think about is, oh shoot, I'm gonna be stressed out, wondering on a daily basis, is it COVID? And my mental state is gonna be thrown off by that. So I honestly think another issue that has us going like back and forth is the state does not want to commit fully to virtual online, because they know they haven't provided the adequate training at times for teachers to pull that into the classroom. But as I kind of blame the state for not holding their end, I'm gonna call out some teachers for not holding up their end. I think it's a big issue that during these last few weeks of the school year, we had to go into virtual teaching, and there were teachers who they struggled. And I'm not knocking them when they down, but just to me, being in this field, technology is taking over. And I feel like if technology is taking over, like I have to do my job to stay up with it. It is like I said, it's really taking over. And I feel like as teachers, we got to do our part and be a part of changing the world, bringing that technology into the classroom. It shouldn't take a state of emergency for you to go and start getting training. This is something that should already be in play, considering this is your field. So, recapping my thoughts, we should not return to class until it's safe for everyone, and right now it's not safe. Teachers have to stop ignoring incorporating technology in the classroom. Not only with COVID, but our world, like I said, is turning into technology, and we have to enthusiastically be the leaders of technology. Like, we have to show our kids that we want to do this, and not be afraid to try. And parents, y'all not off the hook. It is also your place to aid these students to use these devices as a tool. I saw a joke that said getting rid of COVID is like working in a group project that didn't go right, and that's why they never liked working in a group. Well, my solution is we got to find some way to work together. Like when you had those groups that you hated, you had to figure something out because you wanted the grade. So we want a quality education. We want our community safe. So whether we like it or not, we are going to have to come together some kind of way and team up and not only find a solution to get rid of this COVID, but to team up and bring the healthiest education possible to our students. Welcome to Dopeness by Melly. So what I have for y'all here in this segment is I pretty much created a piece that reflected me and my people and just my thoughts that kind of came to mind when I, heard this phrase. And the first thing that came to mind when I thought about my Black people during this time is stop killing us. So what I basically did was took each letter of stop killing us and just basically bounced the emotion that first came to my heart at that time. All right. So stop. Scared. Yes, we possess that emotion. Tired of the inequality. Offended. Yes, we're offended like anyone else. People. Yes, we want to be treated like people. Killing. Karma. It keeps us saying that one day you'll feel our pain. Icebox. Sometimes they make me feel like that's where my heart should be. Lonely. In our skin, it's lonely at times. Long is how this fight for equal rights just feels at times. Invisible to so many, even in 2020. Normalized looking like me. Genuine. We're not afraid to be a part of the Black team. And us. Underestimated, yet we made it. Strong is the reason that I feel we're the most hated. Lifetips with Melly. This one is huge for me. Before I get into this segment, I want to say rest in peace to my friend. Some called him Pops, some people called him Poppy, and sometimes me and him called each other Mika, and I really miss my friend. I met him freshman year in high school, and I mean, that was a genuine dude. I don't want to crackle too much, but he was the pull-up king. And what I mean by he was the pull-up king, he found a way to pull through for you however you needed him. Like, he was gonna find a way. Or you could just be pulling in your driveway and you see a car pulling up and he was just randomly checking on you. Like, that's something I will always remember about him, and I will always cherish about him, because you don't have many people out there that genuinely care for you like my dude Pops did. So he influenced this segment topic for me. This has weighed heavy on my heart in multiple ways. I've been at a battle in just recent times of just what I'm giving my time to and like who I'm giving my time to. So I felt like not only to put this out into world, but I needed to kind of look through some of these things myself. But at times, I just spend too much time with people who don't deserve time. And at times, not enough with the ones who have proven they deserve a place. So, my life tip for you is we must stop taking life and people in it for granted. This starts with you being honest with yourself and the relationship you have with those around you. These tips are not easy to incorporate at once, trust me. Like, this, it's hard to like gut check yourself and be like, get it together, sister. But considering we could take on COVID, like we could take on changing some things in our life. My like thing for you is to pick one or two of these and just focus on making them a part of your life. And like a song I listened to, better days are coming. Like when you incorporate these things and you live a positive path, like better days are coming. So you want to incorporate these things in your life. Tip 1, we got to be thankful. Too many times we don't realize who and what we have. We got to start being thankful year round and not just on Thanksgiving. Give thanks to people daily. You don't know how long they have on this earth. Like, that's the biggest thing. And I think it hit me really hard because Pops made me think about just this. Like, I was convinced, like, we called him the line dance king. And I was just convinced, like, I was going to see this dude. We was going to be old and gray, and he was going to be spinning real smooth, doing a line dance. Like, that is something like that really, like I said, it made me check myself that I really have to start thinking deeply on time. Like, we just don't know how long. But yes, like, I just thought I would see this dude line dancing with the black salt and pepper beard, with his Ray-Bans. Like, I thought it was going to be there. So remember, a thank you goes a long way. And this behavior of like random kindness, it's something that can influence those around you. So you're not only pushing yourself to be positive, but you're pushing those around you to pick up the same behavior. Tip 2, live in the present. Living in the past only has one success, and it's keeping you there in the past. So dwelling on bad in the past brings negative to your present. If you messed up in the past, which we all have, change it and move on. Point of this tip is dwelling on the past or nonsense only takes time away from you living in the moment and enjoying life. So make a better you by living in the now. Tip 3, this is a tough one for all of us. But I'm going to give y'all 2 aspects of this one because you need to hear both of them. You got to forgive. If you forgive and keep someone in your life, do just that. Stop wasting away life, reaching into a person's past, making them feel guilty for someone they may no longer be. People change. This next aspect will throw a lot of people off because they assume forgive means, as I mentioned above, those you forgive automatically have to be around. This is not true. Remember, forgiving is about your peace. For you, and when you forgive someone, it isn't for them. You have to ultimately think about your peace. It's for you. So you're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for you. So if you forgive someone that doesn't respect you or your time, it's time to part ways. Don't waste life away cycling back through the same rocky situations. Tip 4, make memories. It's crucial to make the most out of time with loved ones because one day that's all you'll have. So don't take that or the time with them for granted. Cherish those lunches, family gatherings, game nights, phone calls, FaceTimes, group texts, trips, whatever allows you to create positive memories with those you love. Like, wrap that up, y'all. The last one, which I think is the biggest one and it's the hardest one, is be yourself. Be who you are. Don't take yourself for granted. Don't waste time wishing you were someone else. The biggest issue of the world is people just being themselves, wasting time dwelling on life we see on social media. And I'll say that again. The biggest issue of this world being themselves is wasting time dwelling on life we see on social media. We want to be what we see so bad, not knowing what's really deep down going on with some of those people that post only the good on the internet. You can admire individuals, but put your time into you. Speaking life into you will give you better quality while you are on this earth. Life tips. Y'all, pull them in. And remember, when you pull those life tips in, better days are coming. Yo, we have made it to the confession segment. And y'all gonna laugh at me. But before I start, I have a confession. I call myself the DIY queen / pioneer because I'm always trying to create things or make my own stuff. So I've been on this venture that I'm going to make candles, y'all. Yes, Melly is going to make candles. I'm not trying to sell them. I'm just, hey, maybe in the future. But for right now, I spend so much on candles that I say, girl, you need to make your own candles. So I'm on this venture of saving like my Bath and Body Works jars so I could just recreate candles in them. And one day, as I had like all these jars, I'm like, there's so much wax that are left in these jars. Like once I can't burn them anymore, once it's under the wicker. But I'm like, okay. And one day I said, hey, it's wax. Got a wax warmer. And I got a butter knife and I just kind of chopped, it into, I guess you could say kind of triangulars. And I dropped it in my wax warmer. And when I tell y'all, that smell was so pleasant for a week in my kitchen, I discovered something, y'all. Recycle that wax that you can't use when you get to the bottom of your candle and put it in your wax warmer. And like I said, my kitchen smelled good for a week. So not only am I recycling and going to reuse those jars to remake candles, I now can keep that smell of those pretty expensive candles going in my wax warmer. Y'all thank me later, but make sure y'all try that and let me know when y'all do. All right, so my confession this week is that we have to water the seed of our future. Our future is our youth. I get it. We hear this phrase so much, but I'll be the first to say, do I have all the answers? I surely don't. One thing I do know and believe is our youth is in fact our future, and more has to be done to prepare them with the world facing the challenges now more than ever. So many want to feed to the youth that the answer is education and education only. And a lot of people look at me with a side eye when I say this, but as an educator, I disagree. There is so much opportunity in the world to be successful without a degree. I will go on the limb and say, however, I do feel highly about a high school diploma should be completed. So with that being said, I constantly want to be, I don't even want to just say a spokesperson. I want to be a realist for the youth because I feel like too many people are feeding them the wrong information. And when I say the wrong information, it's the right information for some of them. But when we have someone just telling them that they have to go to college and that's the only way to get there, I instantly think about, man, personally, I live a few blocks away from my parents. I could take Vineyard. I could take, St. Charles, Apollo, whatever street that. There's multiple ways to get to my parents' house. So when I think about a kid, like these youth, I'm sorry, not a kid, the youth, and they have these dreams, there's not one way to get there. And I'll honestly say, for some of them, college won't be the road there. And I won't be the person that feeds them that false information. And some people say, but you're a teacher. And I'm like, okay, but I'm also a realist. And I know, as I said, everyone doesn't need a college degree. So what does our youth need? Our youth needs more people around willing to open their eyes to all options. Stop drilling the air quote norm in their head, which I stated is everyone needs a college education. And they need to have real conversation with them. Let these youth have a voice. Let them dissect the idea college isn't for everyone. Instead of shutting them down, help them find directions for that route to help show them the way and help them mold a plan. There is, in fact, people successful without a degree. At some point in life, they had a plan. I've had this conversation with my students, and a lot of people wouldn't agree that I had this conversation, but I tell them life stories of people I know personally And I know people who are very successful who do not hold a college degree. So I think that inspires those ones who are like they're already on the track knowing they don't want to go to college. But the thing I tell them, you can't just go and just sprinkle through life. You got to have a game plan. So if college is your plan, what is your plan? And see, you got to always question them. And when you question them, they start to question themselves. So that is my biggest thing to them. If you are saying you're one of the people that don't want a college degree, that's not something that you feel is going to be a part of your lifestyle, tell me what is. So I was in a situation, this is like a confession and a confession. I know it's kind of weird. But I got a quick story for y'all. I'm going to make it real quick. But I was in a weird situation. I was in a vehicle with a group of people, and the conversation of degrees got brought up. And one person kind of said, like, I kind of want to go back. I kind of don't. And they had started at one time, and they kind of quit, and they went back again, and then they quit. But they have an extremely successful business, and they always have had a successful business. And they're going back and forth because another person in the car is kind of saying that they felt like everybody should have a degree. And they kind of asked my opinion, with me being a teacher and all. And I said, well, I feel like everybody got to take, the path that they want to take. And that's when, like, I got the side eye. And I said, well, I just feel like sometimes there's people that don't have a degree that make more money than I do yearly. Can I knock them? Not at all. So it was an awkward situation. But like I said, it didn't get too, like, hot and heavy. And it went it turned real left when the person who actually had a degree kind of said they're on their way, like, back to go get another degree because they're not even using the degree they had. And that's when I just kind of said, whoops. Like, that's another thing. Like, some people have a degree and they don't even use it. So that is one thing we want to get our youth away from. Don't just get a degree just to put it on the wall. Get a degree that you are going to use that is going to supplement your life. So moral to the story, I will never down those that didn't take the school route. For my path to be a teacher, it was necessary. There's no way around it. I couldn't say, well, listen, hold on. I've worked with the city this many years. It didn't matter. Like, for my path, I had to go to school. I had to certify. I had to test. So there is certain paths where you must hold certain degrees, certifications, whatever it may be. But that's not everybody's, that's not everybody's path. So, like I said, there are more people more successful than me that aren't holding a degree. And I respect that so much. So my thing with that is those people, they need to be connected with the youth. Like, they need to see this success. Like, they need to see, like, there are people out here who are making life out of following their dreams without having a degree. Like, the youth needs to see that more. So they understand, like, it's, we got to get a blueprint to make it to that, though. So youth needs to know that they have to choose their path, as they will be on it, weathering the storm. Like, you don't want somebody to pick your dream for you, because when you have the ups and downs, they're not going to be there to always pick you up. You're going to have to pick yourself up. So I want you to understand that you have to follow your dreams, not your friends, not your moms, your dads, your cousins, your brothers. Because when you pick the dream that you want, you gonna do, and you gonna go hard for it. And if you don't want to be in college, let's be real, you're not gonna go hard for it. So the biggest message to my youth is different goals entail different roads. The youth, I feel, needs a toolbox to take, along their life journey. And everybody's toolbox, as y'all know in life, is different. So we got to be those people to help, prepare their toolbox. So y'all like, yeah, girl, you just jabbering away. I get it. You confess that you want to help the youth. You're a teacher, but I have a goal. My goal is to turn this here Confessions of a Dope Teacher into an LLC. And I want to have a sector that reaches out to the youth. Like, I want to encourage them to follow their passions, volunteer, mentorship, network with other youth in the community, encourage good habits, help with decision making, and much more. Like, I don't fully have it all entail, but it is definitely in progress. And this is my canvas, and it's not perfect, but I'm on the front line in schools, and one of the biggest issues that I see is sometimes kids just don't have the ideal situation, or they don't even have guidance. Like, some of these students, they lack like guidance. So my plan is in the world, but my confession is I want to be doing more. And I said world. My plan is in the works, but my confession is I want to be doing more. Like, I can't do everything, and I know that, but I can do something. And I can start somewhere. If you don't already follow the IG, make sure you keep up with my dailies there. I try to drop daily motivations. It's not every day, but I try to, some days I have one every day, and I try to keep it real and raw, so I don't try to plan those. That's one thing about my dailies. I try not to plan them. But yes, make sure you are following the IG, which I said is confessions _of_a_dope_teacher. So confessions of a dope teacher, and it has an underscore under each. Make sure you follow that on IG, which is Instagram, and just see the transformation of my podcast just kind of shifting into an LLC to reach out to not only the youth but my community. Like I said, I just want to do more in the community. Like, I'm a teacher, I get it. I already stand on the front line. But just to recap, like, yes, I do dedicate a lot of time, overtime, extended time to the youth as a teacher. But in my heart, like, I just feel there's more I could pour out. And ultimately, the youth need real guidance, a voice, and a plan. And lastly, I have a plan in play to get some things in place in my community and in my youth. So that is my confession, y'all. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. Thanks for joining the episode of Confessions of a Dope Teacher. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform to listen in. We're here on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. You can always just search Confessions of a Dope Teacher. We're here live on YouTube. On YouTube, you can search Confessions of a Dope Teacher. Pretty much any platform that you have, you can search Confessions of a Dope Teacher. But if you're one of these visual people and you want to see me, YouTube is where you got to be. I'm talking to my YouTube people that are listening right now. But let me just wrap this show up. Like I said, I wanted to come back to y'all bigger, better. My next show will have the first guest, which I know y'all probably been waiting for that, because I want to bounce. I want to have that dialogue. So yes, that will be in the works. And remember, we're back every 2 weeks, y'all. So I thank y'all for y'all patience. I thank for y'all just humbly opening your arms back up and just letting me come back and just be me. I'm just gonna recap the show. Remember, live your life for today. Save your candles if you have a wax warmer. And like I said, once you try it, you will thank me later. Do your part in empowering the youth in your community. And until next time, embrace solutions, not excuses. Peace.